let's read today's question. Capacity to ship packages within D days. So a conveyor belt has packages that must be shipped from one port to another within days. The ith package on the conveyor belt has a weight of weights I. Okay. Each day we load the ship with packages on the conveyor belt in the order given by weights. Okay. We may not load more weight than the maximum weight capacity of the ship. Return the least weight capacity of the ship that will result in all packages on the conveyor belt being shipped within days. So weight, okay, so the variables we have are days. There are weights. Okay, so given these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 with 5 days. So this is basically saying how return the least weight capacity of the ship. Okay. So what we are returning is the capacity of ship. And we want it to be minimum. Okay. So let's take look at an example here. So weights, days, output 15. So that means when the ship capacity is 15, it takes 5 days to move all these packages that are weighing this much. So first day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second day 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Note that the cargo must be shipped in the order given. So using a ship of capacity 14 and splitting the packages into parts like 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6, 7, I see. So there are packages. Let's say this is a conveyor belt that are moving this way. Then we have to make sure that there's a ship here. We take 1 first, then 2, then 3. We cannot arbitrarily take any other packages until they reach the end of the conveyor belt. Okay, so that means we really don't know how much capacity we would need until we have full list of items that are weighed up to the last item. Okay, so the brute force way of doing this, or easiest or simplest answer would be whatever the maximum number is, right? So we can keep unloading or loading into the ship and then keep track of the max value. Okay, so this will keep updating until max becomes 10, because the last item in this example is 10. So we know the minimum, the capacity of ship has to be at least 10, so that we can carry that number. Okay, knowing what we know, let's say our capacity is 10. Then when we pull out 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's 6, 4. This becomes 10. Then we move on to the next one. But we cannot put 6 in there. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this is already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So it takes 7 days. So this is not a valid solution. So how do we know whether something is a valid or so in the end we basically need given 5 days we need 4 dividers that can divide this input array. Okay, so in the example here, the divider is at here, no, not there, here, there. So there's a 1, 2, 3, and so there's 3 and 4 dividers. What we can do in a brute force way is we can try to put them all in single box first, and then initially take 1, secondly then that it takes 10 days to get to the end. Well, let's think about this. So we know how many there are in weights, right? So we know number of packages. Okay, what we know. We know number of packages, number of partitions, so looking at second example here, the weights will be 3 to capacity of 6. Because there are 3 days, we can potentially just try dividing it into 3 equal number of items. Would that work? So let's see. What if we divide this by number of dividers arbitrarily? So in this case, there are 10 items, and there are 4 items, 4. So this becomes 2. So basically, we group 2 at a time. 1. Okay. So we basically group these 2, these 2, these 2, these 2, and the other 2. And then we we try to calculate their sum. If the sum exceeds, then do we increase the capacity? Can't really think of any clue right now. So we have a number of packages. We have number of partitions we need to divide into. So we have days, weights. But how do we know the capacity of ship? So what we can guess is we can get the maximum number, which is 10. So let's say the capacity is 10. Okay, so let's say capacity because the max weight is 10. Then we can group them by we can group them into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we now know we cannot meet the day restriction because we need to complete this within 5 days. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What if we just try to combine these two? Like these two. And use that as a new capacity. Okay, so now the new capacity is 15. I mean, in this case, it's gonna work because we know the answer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there is a 6, 7. There is 8. There's 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's say let's put this into like second example here. Okay, so let's say the weights are 3, 2, 2, 4, 1, 4, and the days are 3. Okay, so that means because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or let's say, so max is 4. So let's say capacity is 4. How can we group this? So we can group 3, we can group 2 and 2, we can group 4, we can group 1, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But 5 is greater than the days. So we have to somehow come up with a new capacity. Okay. So right now the max is 4. Well, we can. So max is 4. And what's the next? From a from a day that has the max, which is these 2 days. Okay, they have 4. So what's the next capacity I can have that I can reduce the number of days? That means I can add next smallest weight to the capacity. So next smallest weight to capacity. That is 1. Okay. So now capacity is 5. Okay. That means we can still get 3, 2. 2, 4. No, we cannot get 2, 4. So 4, 1, and then 4. So we still the capacity or the number of days is still more than the days we were given. So that means we now need to find another smallest weight. Okay, so what's next? Well, next smallest is 2. Okay, then we can add it to the max. So max plus the smallest number. So capacity becomes 6. And it will 3, 2, 2, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so finding the max. So starting from the max, find next smallest weight to add to the capacity. Do we want to allow adding multiple? Do we want to allow same weights but different package? And I think the answer is yes, because when we increase the capacity, that basically means we can take one more package that couldn't have been taken before by adding the smallest weight to the capacity. So we could, apply this logic to the third example here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 days, 4. 그냥 펜슬 때도 볼까? Okay, so given this example, the max is 3. Okay. Oh, this one is easy because max is basically the answer. Okay, so let's actually apply this logic to the beginning, the first example. So if capacity is 1 or 10 as a max, now the smallest number is 1. So basically the capacity will increase 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15. So we will try this logic until so we are gonna try this logic, let's say number of packages times, so of n times, right? And then we're gonna have to be doing the grouping by looping through individual package. So that will be n squared time complexity. Okay. So if I write the pseudocode here, first of all, find max weight. Okay. Because if it's lower than max weight, we cannot ship that package regardless. Okay. And then build a min heap to store weights in ascending order. And then loop through weights and calculate days using max number from number 1 if number of days are actually greater than given days, then what we need to do is pull min from min heap, and then add it to capacity. So that would be, capacity would be the max number plus 4-1 number. Okay, so we're not adding it to the capacity multiple times, but we are actually adding it to the max that we found in number 1. And then repeat number 3 and 4. In the end, you will run into a number of days that are same. So if number of days are actually same as the given days, then return the capacity. Okay, so I think I can start coding now and see if this is gonna work. So first we need to max weight, find the max weight. That's going to be I'm just gonna use the for loop here. I think there could be a better way of doing this. Oh, actually I can just do weights, so it will actually find the max. Okay, let me yeah, and then I found the max weights, and then I also need to build the min heap. So min heap will be heap q, heapify of the weights. Actually, yeah, I think I need to copy this first. Okay, so weights, copy, and then I actually have to use this instead, because it's gonna change the underlying array structure. So yeah, I don't want to mess up with the weights array. Okay, so now we have heap, done with number 1 and 2, so we're gonna loop through the weight. We're going to build the total weight. We also want to keep track of the capacity, which is max weight. So for each weight, we are going to add to current total the weight. But we only want to do this if current total plus weight is still less than the capacity. Right? Okay. Yeah. And then if they are greater, or if it's not, it's gonna exceed the capacity, then we actually have to reset the total and then actually increment the num days by 1. So that means we are spending 1 more day to ship the package. So num days initialize by 0. Okay. And when this is all done, actually the current total should be weight, because we are basically creating a new shipment, a new day. Yeah, and in the end, we actually have to add 1 more days, because the for loop will end in this condition always. Okay, so num days 1. I'm just going to test this out if it prints out the right num days. So initially, for the initial test case, I would expect to print out. What do we expect? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is expected. Yes. So we're getting 7. This is correct. Okay. So now we have to repeat this until the num days actually is better. Okay. Okay, so we have the capacity. We want to wrap this around the while loop while num days is greater than given days. We want to initialize this num days at the beginning. Okay. So before we actually call this, we actually want to initialize with reset it to 0. Okay, current total is 0, capacity is max weight, and we actually have to plus. So where did the min heap go? Okay, so because we are trying the max number, probably we can just push 0 to the min heap, so that it's basically adding itself or adding nothing to the max weight. Okay. Hip pop on the min heap. That means we also have to make sure that min heap is available. Okay, so we're getting a new capacity here, resetting the current total to 0. We also have number of days we are calculating. Okay. And then we increase the capacity by adding to the max weight, calculating the number of days. So when it is the same as or smaller than the days, it will break out of this while loop. So if it's possible that min heap ran out earlier, so if num days is still larger than the days, what do we have to return? I mean, it won't be, I mean, it will eventually have an answer because the capacity can increase if it, to the larger amount. So we can just return capacity here. Okay, fingers crossed. Oh, capacity not defined. Oh, capacity is defined here. Okay. So I feel like this might work better in the do while loop. But since there's nothing like that, in this case, I'll just define capacity here. So all three failed. So output is 0. When we were expecting 15, so we were expecting capacity. So it's set. I think it means it's not running in the while loop. Well, num days. Oh, yeah, because the num days will always be. I think I can have this condition at the very bottom here. So if num days is smaller than or equal to the days, we can actually break out of it. Or we can actually return capacity right away. Right? So that means we don't need to define these two. What do we return in case? I think it will just return no matter what. Oh, for now, I'll just return -1 as a capacity to know that it didn't work. Okay, let's run this. Oh, yes. Okay, so case 1, case 2, case 3, all working. What is this? Okay, so weights, days, output, cool. Expected. Test case 2. 3 days, output 6. Cool. Yeah, output 3 in 4 days. So let's actually let's actually start this and see if it works. Okay. To Okay, so let's go ahead and submit if it's gonna work. Maybe we're running into infinite loop here. So we are outputting 160 when we are supposed to use 200. Okay, so based on our logic, we're gonna pick 100 as our initial capacity. So it's not gonna work. So it's gonna pick 10. So it's gonna use 110. But 110 will not meet the days. That means we're gonna use try out 150. But that's not gonna work. Oh, okay. So the problem is because we are only adding max weight and each weight, we're not actually adding combination of two weights to the max weight. So when I pop out the min hit, do I need to, let's see. So if I pop out $160, it will always just try 150, 150, 110, and then 200. It's not gonna try 160 at all because it doesn't know how to use 10 plus 50 in the capacity calculation. So somehow we need to be able to tell it's okay to use two numbers together. So when we pop out 110, maybe we can add 10 back, or we can add 10 plus what we pulled out. Okay. So what I mean by that is when we pull out from the min hip, so it is when it was originally max plus 1, and before moving on to max plus 2, we can actually add these two numbers, 1 and 2. So two smallest weights, and then add it back to the min hip. That way we know we can actually try the summation. Feels random, but I'm gonna give it a try. So let's say here the capacity, if it isn't meeting the requirement, we are actually going to subtract max weight so this means what we added before to the capacity, and then put it back to so I'm just gonna make this as a variable. Okay, so add this to the capacity. But before we do that, we are actually going to put back the sum of, so this is what we added to the capacity before, plus next mean weight to the mean hip. So what this will do is it's going to, in this example case, after we added 10, it's gonna pull out 50, but it's gonna put back 60 in there. But what if it falls in the middle? How does it know? Let's say like the capacity now was supposed to be 210. That means after adding 200s, we still had to add 10 in there. Maybe that's not just valid case. So in this case, we're pulling it out. Okay. And then adding it to the capacity. So initially, the max weight capacity, this will be 0. And then 0 will be pulled out. So 0 will be pushed back in. So we don't want that to be 0. Okay, so I'm just gonna be very dirty here. So if capacity minus max weight is greater than 0, then just push it back. Okay, so let's try this out. Right, so capacity dot max weight. capacity is not defined. Maybe I can do previous. It's getting messy here. So this is only passing like 20 something cases. So at this point, I've spent too much time on this. So I'm gonna give up and take a look at the solution here.